young people make informed decisions for their future. So today's topic is one that I'm personally very passionate about. Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us today. My name is Suraj Nair. I'm the Director of Enrollments at Hult International Business School. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you today. Before we begin, I'd like to sincerely thank Remarkable Education for inviting me to be a part of this session and creating opportunities like these for students who are planning their higher education and careers. It's always wonderful to see an organization investing their time in helping young people make informed decisions about their future. Today's topic is one that I'm very personally passionate about. Beyond marks, how skills and international exposure create future leaders. Over the next 35 minutes, I'd like to share some of my experiences from working with students from around the world, discuss what employers are really looking for today, explain why skills have become just as important as academics, and show you how international exposure can completely transform the way you think, learn, and lead. Every day, because of my role with Hult, I've been with Hult for the past 4 years. I've interacted with a bunch of students, parents, school counselors, and employees from different countries. One thing I've realized after meeting thousands of students is that students who succeed in life are not always the students who scored the highest marks. Now, before you anyone misunderstands me, marks are important. They help you build discipline, they help you get into universities, they show you that you worked hard, but marks alone will not prepare you for the real world. Today, employers are asking a very different question. Not how many marks did you get? Instead, they ask you, can you solve a problem? Can you work with people? Can you communicate your ideas with your team? Can you lead a team? Those are completely different questions than what you would have hoped for. And today, I want to spend my time talking about exactly that. How can you become future ready? How can you build skills that companies are actually looking for? And why international exposure has become one of the biggest advantages a student can have today. What actually happens in the real world outside the textbook? We are all used to the core curriculum here in India that we mug up textbooks, we go through our textbooks and we give exams, we pass, we get marks, and that's how we look forward to getting into other universities or pleasing our parents as well. But when you step into the real world, companies are not looking for someone who can just memorize a textbook. They are looking for people who are problem solvers. They're looking for people who can handle crisis or problems when arise. In real world, you cannot just jump to page number 42 to find an answer. You have to invent your own answers. This is where skills come in. We are living in a world full of artificial intelligence and rapid technology. The skills that we are looking for is not what the ones that the computer can teach you, but we are looking for the skills that the computer cannot replicate. We call them the human skills: communication, collaboration, and critical thinking. So basically, we want to know, can you explain your ideas clearly? Can you work with a team full of people who are completely different from you, who have different ideas, or are coming from different nationalities or countries as well? Can you look for problems in three different angles and find a solution to all these problems? These are the skills that make a future leader. Leaders do not just know facts, they know how to connect with people. Now, how do you actually build these leadership skills? This brings us to the vital piece of the puzzle, which is international exposure. Let us look at the specifics from our own country here in India. As Indian students, we grow up in an incredibly competitive environment. We all know it that how students are competing from a very young age to score better marks, and we look at rankings further as well. We are taught to work hard, focus deeply, and face intense competition from very young age. This gives us a brilliant foundational strength. However, our traditional system focuses very heavily on theoretical learning, reading books, writing down answers, and passing individual exams. But leadership cannot be learned through theories. It requires practical education and real life exposure. When an Indian student steps into international learning environment, it acts as the ultimate practical training ground for leadership. It transforms you into three distinct ways, which I have categorized. It builds real resilience. When you leave your family surroundings and move to a global environment, you're completely out of your comfort zone. You are managing your own life, navigating a new city, and adapting to new cultures at once. This practical shift builds an essential leadership trait, resilience. True leaders do not panic when things change or go wrong. They stay calm, adapt, and find ways forward. International exposure teaches you that emotional strength firsthand. The second point is it teaches cultural and cross cultural empathy. Think about the top global corporate leaders today, many of whom are of Indian origin. Microsoft CEO, the Google CEO, and going ahead, even the Meta CEO. What makes them successful? It is their ability to lead diverse global teams. When you study internationally, you sit in a classroom where your peers come from 30 different countries or more than that. You see how students from Germany structure a business plan. You observe how students from Japan approach a strategy problem by working on practical group projects with them. You learn how to listen, how to negotiate, and how to motivate people who think completely different from you. You build empathy, which is foundation of modern leadership today. And the final point, it shifts your mindset from local to global. Practical global exposure means you are not just reading about international trade in a textbook, you are living a global business hub. You are interacting with international companies, analyzing global case studies, and understanding how different economies work. You learn to take incredible hard-working foundation you built in India and scale it up at global level. To become future leader, you must understand the world and understand how the world experiences work practically in your own favor. So we've heard a lot and I've spoken much about practical education. But why is practical education important? Why do we feel that today the word practical education, which is quite often used today, why is it important? What does it actually mean to study practical exposure or practical education? Let me give you an example. Imagine you want to learn swimming. You can spend months reading books about swimming. You could memorize every swimming technique. You could even score 100 out of 100 in written exam on swimming. But until you actually get into the water, you haven't learned how to swim. Business education works exactly the same way. Reading about leadership does not make you a leader. Reading about entrepreneurship, again, does not make you an entrepreneur. Reading about communication does not automatically give you the confidence to be a speaker. You learn these skills by practicing them over and over again. I'll give you my own example. I've studied masters in international business from University of Greenwich in London. My time here was a time where I was a student from Mumbai, never traveled abroad. I had always been around, surrounded by parents. Everything was taken care about. My food, my clothing, travel, accommodation, everything was sorted out for me. So when the first time I went to London for my education, first of all, it was a culture shock for me because the English that we speak here in India is quite different, and the ones that we speak there in London is quite different. There are 4 to 5 different accents to understand. Again, UK being a very complex place to study, it is one of the places where you will always understand why international exposure and global exposure is important. At walking distance, you'll find everything, but you'll find so many different places for a similar thing. For example, as good as me speaking to a student, they have different understanding of timings. In India here, we have very informal way of communication and arriving on time. For example, if I ask a friend here in India that I'll meet you at 7, most probably both of us will not reach by 7, probably 7:15, even 7:30. And it's completely fine. We'll still go about by our plan very casually. But over there, when I met my friend who is from Japan, when I told him that we are meeting outside for dinner at 7, he was there by 6:50. He waited 6:55, 7, and he expected me to be there. So when I arrived 10 to 15 minutes late, he said it's completely unacceptable in their cultures to tell somebody that I'll be there at 7, but then not arrive at the same time. For them, time is so punctual and so important. Their work culture consists of completely 9 to 5, which means that if they start their work at 9, even if they've not finished their work at 5, they'll shut down their laptops and desktops for the day, and they'll leave and they'll start again tomorrow. Unlike here in India, where we actually sit and work till we actually finish our task at hand for the day and then log out. So, and both of them are completely fine. None of them is better or worse, but each culture, each country has a different kind of culture. And when you are in a global workforce or tomorrow you want to start your own company, you will be always looking ahead to work with diverse people culturally as well as nationality wise, and you'll know that you'll have to understand these cultures deeply so that you can understand your employees, deal with them significantly, and then make sure that they give you the best out of their cultural exchange. So this is actually one of the reasons why I enjoy working at Hult as well. So I've been with Hult for the past 4 years now. I speak to students daily. I go through student profiles. I take a lot of interviews. And at Hult, what students do is we don't just sit in classrooms and memorize textbooks. They learn by doing. They work on live business challenges. They work on multicultural teams. They present ideas regularly. They solve business problems. Sometimes they'll have teammates from 5 to 6 different countries. Imagine learning business while working with classmates from over 100 nationalities. That experience teaches the lessons that you cannot learn through textbook. Even teachers teaching at Hult are all these teachers who are not just teachers who have been having holding a PhD degree, but these are people who have actual real life experiences, form their own companies, are still working, but they teach out of passion. So most of the teachers that you meet at Hult who are going to be teaching you, they could end up being your future investors at Hult as well. So at Hult, we focus more on international exposure. We focus on students learning by doing. Students work with live clients as a part of their curriculum with each semester. They are also working on building their own businesses from scratch, focusing on family business. We also help you connect with people who are actually global. We have 3 different campuses. We are located in Boston, London, and Dubai, where you get to rotate to each campus if you wish to, or you can stay at your home campus as well. So this is where the global exposure comes in. Additionally, it's about becoming someone the employers want you to hire. Whether a student joins a multinational company, starts their own business, or pursues higher education, these experiences will help build confidence that stays for life. In today's world, we also focus more upon students have been told that how much you score today will matter for your lifetime. But it's completely untrue. The marks that you score today will not make any difference what on your future. What makes a difference is how hard did you try? What else did you do apart from just studies? Are you looking at working with NGOs? Have you done any internships? Have you focused on something of your own hobbies? Have you taken parts in sports and extracurricular activities? You love your music. Anything that you do outside your school and college life is something that is going to teach you a valuable lesson that sets you up for future. In practical education, whenever you study something new, it's going to be more that helps you always in future. You have to keep on learning, not something that you just study today and that will be enough. So today in the world of AI, whatever you're studying today, maybe in the next 5 years will be obsolete. So we want to make sure that more than your skills, what matter is the skill to adapt. The adapt and learning everything that is offered new in the environment today is where you will make a difference from the people who have just focused on marks. As I come to the end of the session today, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Your report card may help you get into the university, but your skills, your mindset, your willingness to keep learning will determine how far you will go in life. So, yes, work hard for your exams, be proud for your academic achievements, but at the same time, challenge yourself to build the skills that classroom alone cannot teach you. Learn to communicate, learn to work with people from different companies, learn to solve problems, learn to become comfortable with uncertainty, because these are the qualities that create future leaders. Before I sign off, once again, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to the entire team at Remarkable Education for inviting me to be a part of today's session and organizing this wonderful initiative. I truly appreciate the opportunity to connect with so many people and aspiring students. If today's discussion has sparked a curiosity about international education, or if you'd like to learn more about Hult Business School, I encourage you to get in touch with the team at Remarkable Education. They will help you and guide you to learn more about the programs, the admission process, scholarship, and help you understand whether Hult is the right fit for you for your goals. Thank you once again for spending your time with me today. I wish each one of you success in academic journey and more importantly in becoming the kind of leader the future needs. Take care, keep learning, and I hope our paths cross again someday. Goodbye.